What a fantastic day we have here. I don't know if you guys can see past me, but we have a glorious day. That's the Atlantic Ocean. All the way down that way is the Antarctic. So what a fantastic way to end off World Oceans Week. I'm going to be cooking you a dish out of the Cape squid, or the Ligo renati, which is the green listed species, which is fantastic, and it is caught along the coast from Mossel Bay, actually as far as PE, all the way around to up the west coast to Cape to I don't know where it's from, but up the west coast, Saldanha Bay, that's where it is. So the dish.
Just going to turn it around, yeah. Cool. There we go. Cool. There we go.
Okay, fantastic. Cool. So if you wouldn't mind getting down here onto the ingredients. So we have an indigenous plant. It's from South Africa. Actually, this is the fruit of the plant. It's called a sour fig. Now, I believe this has become a bit of a pest around the world. It's a bit of an invasive species. It is a creeper, and it takes over whole islands in some parts of the world. But for this case, it's acting as a bit of lemon on our squid dish. We're going to be making that with a little bit of water, and then we're thickening it with a little bit of Ultratex, and that's going to become this gel, which we're going to put on top of the squid dish. And then here is the hero of the dish. So we got the Ligo renati, or the Cape Hope squid. A fantastic thing. This is quite a small one, but you do get really large ones about that size. And then we're going to make a little coconut sauce, very simple sauce. So we got some onions, some shallots, some garlic, some ginger, and then we've got some sake here, which we're just going to deglaze the pan with, and then some coconut milk, and we're finishing with a touch of butter, of course, and then a little bit of acid in the lime. So
we're going to bring in somebody here, hey?
Yeah,
got a request here. Let's see what's going on, yeah?
Steps. So we're going to take the squid, we're going to...
Oh, here we go. Let's turn this around. There you can say hi. There we go.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
Hi, Chef. How are you? Great to see you.
Good. Nice to see you too. Yeah, what a glorious day here. Where are you? In New York? Oh, I've lost her. I've lost her. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to get... Actually, back? Oh, you're back. Okay, cool. So, nice to have you on
beautiful
board.
backdrops we have there.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's hard to beat this, eh? I mean, look at that. You can see Robben Island in the distance, which is fantastic. And we've got Sea Point, which is a fantastic part of Cape Town below us. We're in Bantry Bay, and if you could just pan the camera around, you can see Ellerman House.
Oh, it's so exquisite.
I think it's a real fitting backdrop for the end of World Oceans Day. And it's great to be cooking this dish out of such a fantastic product. This is, like I was explaining earlier, it's a Cape Hope squid.
Can I turn it around? Yeah, and then you can still chat to her, and then I'm going to just square it around, and then you can still hear each other, so you can go for it.
Okay, great. So so the Cape Hope squid is caught all along our coast, and what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be opening it up. So there's a little seam you're going to find, and you're going to cut along the seam. They kind of get rid of there's all sorts of goodies in there. There's a little fish there, and then we're going to take off the skin. So it comes off in one piece normally, like that.
Wow.
That's it. That's super simple. And take out the pen. Pen really you can't really do anything with. The bits and pieces I like to save, because you can either fry up the tentacles and make a crispy little snack, and the fins as well you can also cook up, and they're fantastic in sauces. We're not actually going to use them today, but I will like to explain what we're going to do with the Ligo. So we're going to be, let me just grab a piece of paper here. Got the fire going?
It's too gorgeous.
So we're going to what we're doing is we're going to be slicing this super thin. And the way we do that is we kind of clean off all the goodness, all the ink. And then we're going to prep about 6 of them. And we stack them together like that, and we freeze it to a block. And let's see if we can find it. So actually this one we've done about, I don't know if you can see that.
Wow.
We got about 10 of those frozen in a big block. So this is kind of just placed on top of that, and we just freeze it like that. All right? So essentially we're going to turn it into a little noodle. So that's what we call Chakra Noodles. The word Chokka actually came from the Spanish and the Japanese used to come into our waters and fish for the squid. And the ilex is another term for it. The Spanish word was Chokka for it. So we kind of adopted the name Chokka. And since we imposed a 200-kilometer fishing zone, the Spanish and Japanese haven't actually come into the waters, but we've still kept the name, which is pretty cool. So we're going to take from that step, we're going to be taking onto our slicer. So we're going to be slicing it to, you guys can see these noodles. So it's just taking a little number 2 on a gravity slicer. Try to get that guard. If you come on the other side here, you can just see it. There we go. That's it. And then they just come apart once they're defrosted like that.
Wow, I love this technique. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, it's really, really simple. And I think the effect is great. And it cooks really fast as well, which I think is ideal for this kind of squid because you cannot cook it for any length of time or else it goes like rubber. But I think one good thing about the Cape of squid is actually it's not as tough as normal squids. So you can actually cook it for, you can do that 30 seconds in the pan, but for this dish, we're only going to do like 8 seconds on a brine, maybe 10 seconds at the most. So while that's defrosting, we're going to get to the next phase. So we're going to cook the figs, so the sour figs. So what I've done is I've topped and I've tailed them. They have a little pod, a little flower pod, which when it dries from the sun. It has this beautiful little, it's almost like little fig seeds inside of it. And you got to kind of top and tail it, and then we're going to cook it to release that. You can see it coming out like that. Okay, so we're going to put it in a little pan, just with some water. Okay, so we're just going to get that to the boil. So we'll give it some good heat up here. Okay, so while that's going, so what we're trying to do essentially is to soften that seed pod. So once that's soft, so all those little seeds are released into the liquid, then we're going to strain it, and then we're going to thicken it into a gel.
Chef,
So,
may I ask a quick question about the
Yeah,
squid?
of course.
Could we
Yeah.
achieve at home a similar effect, perhaps not as precise and gorgeous as your noodles, but sort of chiffonading the squid, just
Yeah,
slicing it
absolutely.
super thin?
Yeah, watch. Let me show you. It's actually quite easy. So if you could, if you freeze it like that, and you get a relatively sharp knife, if you come on this side, you can actually. It's no
Amazing.
problem.
And I suppose you could keep this in your freezer. You could do all
Yeah.
that at a time, and if you're having a
Absolutely.
dinner, you just have it ready to go. That's fantastic.
Absolutely, no problem with that. You can actually, that's still frozen, so you can, if you want to plan ahead really far, you can actually get it to this stage. And it's
Right.
still frozen. You can pop it back in the freezer like that. So, no problem. Really easy. It's a great party trick. Well, people love that because it actually, the texture resembles noodles, and it's pure squid, which is fantastic. So, we'll get back to the sauce. So we're gonna start with a little bit of butter and a touch of olive oil. Not too much. About a tablespoon of butter in there. A little olive oil, just to prevent the butter from burning. And then we're gonna start with our onions. So in this case we got shallots actually, but you can use baby onions. It's fine. You can use red onions, but I prefer the color of the white. So while that's going, we're going to get a bit of ginger in there. So get the ginger slices with the onions. Don't do the garlic yet. You want to do the garlic at the end because the garlic has a tendency to burn very easily if you get it in with the onions. So we're going to soften that with no color. So it's quite translucent. As you can see, there's figs in our boiling rapidly. Okay, what do you think of my stove?
I absolutely love it. I want one.
We actually got it in from Holland. We brought them in. We thought this is the perfect setting for it. But they are amazing things, I'm telling you. But the thing is, you need a lot of fire. You got to
Right.
really flame the thing up. Yeah. So,
You said Holland it's from?
yeah, they're called an Ofyr, O-F-Y-R. Or some people call them fire ring as well.
Love it.
So, yeah, awesome, eh? Okay, cool. Excuse me 1 second.
Have you been out yet?
No, not yet. No, I haven't. Can't wait.
Well, I'll tell you, you should come.
I know. I know.
Might build another congress here.
Fantastic.
2010 that's fantastic. Okay, cool. So our onions are sweating down nicely. At this stage, I'm going to pop garlic in. So there's about a clove of garlic in there, and probably a finger, half a finger of ginger sliced up.
I love how monochromatic it is with the squid. That's just white on white on white. It's so gorgeous.
Yeah, that was the plan, but we're going to be, we normally put it in a white bowl, but I thought today, just to offset it, we're going to go in this beautiful brown bowl. This ceramicist is handmade for us. So it's actually looks like squid tentacles. Beautiful little bowl. So we're going to go in that one. There's garlic and ginger in there. We're going to finish with some sake. So that's about 100 mils of sake. We're going to get that at a rapid boil, so just to burn off the alcohol and to reduce it by a little bit. And then over here in the in the fig pan, we're going to be adding a little bit of sugar. So we've got about 2 tablespoons of sugar going in there, just to sweeten it up a bit. They're very sour. So we're going to add a dash of lime as well. Just do a little squeeze in there. Fantastic. And then I'm just going to kind of agitate that because we want all those seeds. So we're going to be pouring them in now. So we'll pour those. We don't want to put it through a chinois, so we're going to lose all those seeds. So kind of press out. See, I'm pressing out that seed pod, and it releases all these beautiful seeds. And we're just going to pour it like that. And then you can see in the bottom of the pan, that's
wow.
Yeah, you can actually candy those. They work fantastic, and you can eat them. It's a delicacy. It's a treat here. A lot of people eat it. Just as is, they candy these things and you chew these little seed pods, and they're delicious. But we're not going to use those. So all we need is that liquid. So just a bit of a taste. That's good. I think maybe a dash more sugar and a bit more lime.
So you're almost making like a little jam with them. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's almost like, a little bit of sweetness with the squid. It goes very well. I love fresh figs, like purple figs with squid. It's actually a Basque specialty, and it's fantastic. Garlic figs, and cook it with a bit of squid garlic figs, and you cook it in a fig leaf, and it's just phenomenal the way the squid and the figs work together. So this is kind of like a South African version of it. So now the sake is reduced by half. We're going to add coconut milk. And we're just going to get that back on there until that's cooked. And then we're going to thicken this up with a bit of Ultratex. So Ultratex is a tapioca starch. So they cook the tapioca out and they dry it and they powder it. So you don't even need to have heat to thicken this. So we can do it off the heat. It's actually great for applications where you don't want to be cooking your liquid. So it thickens it up nicely. So we're going to add about a heaped tablespoon.
And that's going in with the figs and the lime, the fig seeds and the lime juice. Okay.
That's it. That's going in the fig juice. So, and it just thickens it with things. Kind of give it a little bit of elbow grease. You can use a blender as well. That works too. Sometimes they're a little lumpy. Chicken nicely there. Kind of sprinkle it on as well. Just so it can lump up. Look at my pan, she's going wild. There we go. Now we're not going to use a lot of it. You want it to be quite tart because you don't use a lot of it because it does have a tendency, if you use too much of it, to be a little bit pasty. So that's the bit we're going to use. That's why it's so intense. We want it to be very sour. That's about right.
Is there another fish dish that it might go with as a little garnish or dollop on top? It to use the rest?
Yeah, it actually works right with scallops. Scallops take a little bit of sweetness. It's quite nice with the scallop. Or, this is also good with charcuterie. It's nice with desserts too. So there it is.
Yeah. And it's not even hot anymore. It's just warm.
No, it's not even hot. No, it's
right.
cooled down. Yeah. So, cool. All right. Put that there. So we're going to cook the squid actually because our sauce is almost there. So with the squid, you're going to add a little bit of olive oil to it. So you don't want it to stick because it has a tendency to lump up a little bit if you don't get some oil in there, a little bit of salt. And then we're going to another spoon. So we're going to use this one. Kind of stir the oil through it.
Yeah, and you really see the noodles.
Yeah, you can see they're really cool. They curl up great. So we're just going to wait for our sauce to finish off here. Literally, the sauce is going in the bowl. We're going to cook the squid. We're going to put the squid directly on the sauce. So we're almost there.
Okay.
So, you know, the squid is really important to our industry in all of South Africa and the Cape because, you know, it supports a lot of small villages. And these villages have been around for a long time. And without the squid, they would not exist. Small villages from Saldanha Bay across the PE, and which they take the boats out at night and they fish under lights and they jig or line fish for the squid. So it's really a fantastically sustainable fish, and we use it wherever we can. And I always kind of promote it in the restaurant and ask people to buy it as often as they can. It's because if we don't do it, these small villages and these fishermen, they're going to be destitute almost. So we got to support them. So
is it can you tell us a little bit more about what jiggering is?
So jigging, is when they drop the line down and they bring it up like this, and they have little barbs on these kind of lures, and they can have 5, 6 of them on the line, and they drop it right to the bottom, and they kind of shoot it up, and the squid is attracted to it, and it grabs it, and they put them up.
Wow, so it doesn't sound like there's much bycatch, if that's what's happening.
There's no bycatch, actually.
Amazing.
They're going for this one certain species, and that's where they get only, which is fantastic. It's only the size that varies sometimes, but we have a market for all the sizes, which is fantastic. So it's a very sustainable way of doing it. And these fishermen, they toil away for a living. We export a lot of it.
I was going to say,
we export a lot of it. It's a prized ingredient overseas. But it's delicious. I wish you were here to taste it.
I'm going to be with it so I can taste it for sure. And I'm going to try this application with local squid as well, because it's also sustainable here,
Yeah. You should. Yeah, I think Humboldt squid is pretty big. I think it's very similar. Yeah, that's right. Cool. All right, so I think our sauce is about ready. Let's turn the camera over.
Don't try to eat again.
No, eat that thing. I've already cooked it once. Don't cook it again. Oh, that's great. That's really perfect. So I don't like really heavy sauces. So this one's got a good amount of acidity. It's got good balance. The coconut's coming through is nice and fresh. You really get a ginger in the background. You hardly get any garlic, but it's there, which I think is fantastic. So we're just going to finish it with a little bit of butter, and a little bit of lime juice. Not a lot. That's for the mouthfeel.
I mean, I can absolutely imagine the texture. It seems so sensual to have all these creamy white base, and then just little touches of the brightness. It's wonderful. I want to eat it.
It is delicious, and especially with the garlic on the squid. We're going to finish with a bit of garlic butter and a bit of lime. It's you can't beat it. The flavors are fantastic, and the nice thing about it is super simple. There's only a few ingredients on this dish. That's the way I like to eat. It's the way I like to cook. So we're going to let that simmer a little bit while we finish off the squid. So I'm going to clean off this grill here nicely. Really good heat. There we go. And take our little implement out. And then we're actually going to put a little bit more oil on the grill there.
Wow.
literally you can count to 10 and it's almost done. We got the salt in there, remember? We're going to get a little bit of lime on there while it's cooking. A little garlic butter. And it's done.
Wow, so you could actually be grilling or using the stove as a stove with pots on it all the way around the periphery of that wonderful.
Absolutely, yeah. Cook your meat in the middle and your veggies on the side. So there's our sauce. Here's our noodles. Just going to finish with our chives. Done and dusted, you know, then we're gonna Squid. Beautiful, look at that. Fantastic. And we're gonna finish it with a little bit of fig that we made. Here's a fig dish, and that is the finished dish. So it's our Chakra Noodles with sour figs and coconut sauce. And this has been on the menu for a little while. It's a very simple dish. We use it for Amaz bush sometimes, or and it's been a big hit. So yeah, I'm glad I can share it with you guys. And it's fantastic to be part of World Oceans Week. And innovation for sustainability, I think, is important to chefs. And we should do all that we can to use, you know, the less important ingredients, the unknown fish, as much as we can, and be innovative with it. Anyways, it's great to be here and be able to cook for you. Okay, John?
Thank you so much.
See you later.
Okay. Thank you.
You got any questions out there?
Well, I just wanted to, we have a few questions from our viewers who would like to try to make this, I think, at home at some point. Is it ever a good idea to use frozen squid?
I beg your pardon? One more time?
Is it ever a good idea to use frozen squid? Can you have a high? It's okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
It definitely is. Because when they catch them, they normally freeze them at sea. So yeah, we use frozen squid, definitely.
Great. That makes it so much easier. And then in terms of this dish, we're going really towards smaller, very, very tender ones, right?
No, actually, I prefer the bigger ones.
Okay.
I prefer the extra large. Yeah, because with this particular species, they don't go very chewy. So the larger they are, the longer the noodle, and the more texture you get, which we really like. The little ones are actually hard to slice, you know, and to stack. So the bigger the better.
Great. And when you get them, do you just rinse them in cold, clean water? I mean, I saw you clean them with a towel, but is there anything else?
Yeah, we don't have a tap out here.
Right,
so
I got
have to clean them with a towel, have to get rid of the ink. But normally I would, take off the skin, take off the guts, give them a good wash, and then stack them up nice and neatly. Nice and organized in our normal kitchen. It's a bit archaic out here, but it's a lot of fun, and it's a great setting to cook in.
Yes.
So.
Seafood. Do you have any other favorites, and what draws you to them?
Yeah, you know, I love hake. I know Michael Caines did hake earlier on in the series, and that's one of my favorites, especially if we salt it a bit and firm up the flesh somewhat. That is fantastic. A very versatile fish. You know, I also like ocean robin or gurnard. Gurnard is a fantastic fish, also very sustainable, and it's really cheap as well. That's the thing about these sustainable fishes; they're really cheap. You know, it's great for our food cost, and if you're innovative and creative with them, you can make them taste great. A lot of these fish are overlooked because, you know, especially in South Africa, because they don't catch a big high international price for the export of them. But you know, we've grown accustomed to them. And another favorite one down here is a snook. Which is a type of barracuda, and again, it doesn't travel well, so we've acclimatized to its flavor in South Africa, and we smoke it, and you make soup out of it. You cook the head, and you make a fantastic soup out of the snook kop soup, so it's snook head soup. You make fish cakes out of it. I mean, it's really we've grown accustomed to these cheaper, sustainable fish. And I think it's also because all of the top fish have been exported.
Right.
because and the rand is so weak, and we have to do it to sustain these fisheries. So yeah, I guess it's played into our hands that we like the cheaper fish.
I love that. We've gotten such great insight from chefs in this series about choosing sustainable options and how it varies in the season and obviously locality. But I love the idea of look at what's cheap and think of it. That's such a great little trick. Thank you.
Really?
Yeah, no, I love it. What about, how do you feel about mollusks? I'm a big proponent of clams, oysters, mussels for their sustainability, because at least here we have great farming like vertical ocean farming techniques, but I don't know if that's the case there as well.
Yeah, mollusks are very big here, especially oysters and mussels. We don't have so many clams here, but we do have a bit of a problem with the abalone as well. They've been poached here for a long time because the abalone is prevalent in our waters. So that has become a bit of a problem in that we've lost a lot of our wild species abalone, and we've had to build farms here, which is great. They actually reseed the kelp beds with abalone. So it's kind of, it's great for the abalone industry, but the mussel industry here is booming. The oyster industry is booming as well. And I love them. Yeah, I can't get enough of them, especially the mussels. The flavor is fantastic. You make a creamy spoon out of it. There's so much you can do with it.
Even out of they're even able to farm scallops now in such a wonderful way. For me, I just love how sustainable it is. So I always like to draw attention without eating this. And you've realized you can and you do because they are not sustainable.
Yeah, I think lobster is one of those fish. We had a booming crayfish industry here, and then went onto the red list. We have SASSI here, which is South African Sustainable Seafood Initiative, which is kind of our MSC, I suppose. And they red listed it, and after they red list something, you obviously feel a bit guilty about serving it, and we stopped serving it, and we didn't miss it. There's so many alternatives you can do and you can use, and we've just grown away from it, and I think that's like with any chef, if you're not given something, you innovate around other things. You try make the most out of what you got, and you try and make it as delicious as you can. And I think it's the way forward. Just don't use it. You can make other things taste amazing.
I think it's fantastic to think about things that way. I mean, look at all of us. I can't speak for you there, but we've all been on lockdown, and necessity is the mother of invention. We found ways to make it work. We do our Instagram lives, and grill our phones, and we figure it out.
That's it. Yeah, you got to make it work. We do, as chefs, eh?
Yeah. Well, this has been such a pleasure, and thank you for doing this in front of a painting. It seems like it can't be real. And thank you for your contribution and everything you share with your visitors to inspire them to try other species of fish that are more sustainable.
Yeah, if I didn't enjoy doing it, I wouldn't do it.